series, we have special requirements for the audience. The audience will assume the roles of elected public officials for Swampy County, Florida. Your objective is to select an architectural firm to design a new Swampy County office building. After careful screening of many companies and sedulous review, we have selected 3 companies to interview. The first 2 companies are unimpressive and continually told you about their successes on their own county projects. You will now meet the representative from the 3rd company. Please welcome Tim Gibson, principal of Get-R-Done, G-R-D Architects. Tim Gibson.
Good morning. We're very pleased to be here this morning to talk to the citizens of Swampy County and honored guests that are with us today. Before I begin my presentation, though, I would like to talk about something that I recently saw in the news. I did a little bit of research before we came here today, and I found an article that was written about another county project. And the title of this article is County Project Over Budget by $10 Million. We don't know how it happened, says the county manager. Second article, new county building opening delayed. Contractors behind schedule, but we think it'll be done in 2 months.
Oh my God.
Or 2 weeks. Lawsuits begin over county facility. County blames architect and contractor for not solving numerous problems on the project. All of these are real news articles. I've changed the names of the newspaper to protect the innocent, or in this case, the non-citizens. The question is, how can you avoid this in your county? The answer is very simple. It is a process that we call outcome-oriented design process. Alan Lakin wrote an interesting quote once about planning. He said, planning is bringing the future to the present so that we can do something about it now. And this is the essence of my presentation today. We're going to talk about 3 things, and if you can walk away from this presentation with a thought about 3 things about this firm, this is what I want you to remember. We're going to talk about a proven team, a proven project approach, and why you should choose to select G-R-D Architects. We have assembled a great team of partners for your project. In addition to Get-R-Done Architects, we have the MEP services of Keep It Cool Engineers, Still Standing Up Structural Engineering, Groundhog Engineering, Civil Engineer, Good Dirt Engineers for our geotechnical studies, Less is More Estimating. Now this is a really great group when it comes to finding out what the costs in your project are, and Green Side Up Landscaping Group. The team will be led by myself. I have over 20 years of experience in Florida. I'm also a LEED accredited professional. I have recent planning experiences in 3 counties surrounding your county: Seminole County, Okaloosa County, and Highlands County, Florida. I have project management experience. I have led large teams of consultants. We know how to get these projects done. I'm also active in a number of professional organizations, including Toastmasters International. Anytime you start the difficult and sedulous process of planning a project, we always want to be concerned about what are the critical issues and the goals of the projects. The critical issues and the goals sometimes compete against one another. We have a budget, we have a need, we have a desire. All of this, if carefully planned and carefully executed, will lead to a successful project for the county. Our tagline for your project is to observe, to create, and produce. And this is what we're going to do. When we start on this project, we're going to be defining what the goals of the project are. We're going to be solving multiple issues simultaneously on this project. We're going to be dealing with your architectural needs, the needs of the community, the desire for this building to look appropriate in its setting, and we have a proven methodology to make this happen. Schedule, ultimately important on this project. We must maintain the schedule. We realize that your final completion date is December 2012. To be able to address your schedule, we're going to be working in what we call a critical path methodology, in which we determine what are the critical things that need to occur during the sequence of this project and planned them all out so that we can deliver this project in December 2012. We do this through a workshop agenda and a goal setting session. We start very simply by developing an architectural program for you. An architectural program is simply a listing of all the spaces in the buildings and the area that should be associated with that space. We utilize something called building information modeling. This is really the third generation in architectural design. Some of you are probably familiar with the old drafting table, the T-square. That was first generation.
Yeah.
25 years ago, CAD came into our profession, computer-aided design, but essentially it was really a drafting program. But today's application, Building Information Modeling, or BIM, is really a three-dimensional database for your project. It automates many aspects of manual drafting, but at the same time, we're actually constructing your building three-dimensionally in our computer from day one. And it looks something like this. We're working on your plans, we're developing the interior spaces, we're modeling them and seeing what they're looking like. We're also modeling the outside of the building simultaneously. Anytime we start on an adventure like this, it's important to recognize what our engineering goals are as well. We live in a very humid environment. Swampy County is the most humid county in the entire United States. So we have to be aware when we design this building, we need to address humidity control, moisture barrier locations in the design envelope. We also need to be concerned about system integration, lighting controls, mechanical controls, how we're going to be controlling this building, or how you will be controlling this building with your maintenance staff. And of course, this building is anticipated to have a lifespan of 40 years. So the ease of the access of getting to different systems in the building, being able to define the finishes and have durable finishes that last that time is really important. And we'll be looking at the life cycle cost analysis of different building materials. A lot of you hear a lot in the news about green buildings.
Yes.
Green products. Just you're inundated with that concept, that title these days. We define this topic as sustainability. What we're doing is sustaining the environment. We're doing things that have little impact or less impact to the environment. Some of you may have heard of something called LEED, L-E-E-D, which is Leadership in the Environment and Energy Design. I'm a LEED AP professional. It means that I have been certified to do these kinds of projects. But when you're talking about LEED, you're really talking about kind of four real main topics. Indoor air quality, water efficiency, energy consumption, energy usage, and materials. We're focused in these days on materials. You'll hear a lot about recycling materials. But it's not only important about using recycled content, it's important what we do with the construction waste on the project. 40% of the energy usage in the world comes from buildings. 60% of the pollution or carbon impact in the world comes from buildings and construction, not from automobiles.
Wow.
And it's the energy that's used to produce products, it's the energy that's used to construct buildings, and it's the waste that comes out of those things. So it's very important we stay focused on that as we move forward with your project. We have a lot of experience with dealing with the environmental agencies that we need to be concerned with in the state of Florida. The St. John's Water Management District, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Army Corps of Engineers, and of course the swampy county departments, which are very difficult sometimes to deal with. Your site, we need to be focused on what are the issues for your particular site. We know roughly this will be a 40,000 square foot building, but as we look at your potential site for this job, we're really faced with a couple of issues immediately. What is the visual impact of this facility from the site? Obviously this main thoroughfare here, as you're going through town, you will see this building. It will be very prevalent in your community. You need to be concerned about how we expand this building in the future. All buildings need to be expanded at some point. Parking, where are you going to be parking? Where's future parking be on the site? And how does this impact the neighborhood? What impact does it have on the community? Anytime we start a public project, everyone's always concerned about cost. How much is it going to cost? The first thing we need to do in your job is establish a budget. Then we'll take that budget and we'll produce cost models based on the architectural program to determine how we're doing with the budget. And we'll be costing this project as we go through. Our less is more group